All right, we're here at the end of Canadian Open Bouldering Nationals, and I'm here with the gold medalist, now two-time Canadian bouldering champion, and you're still the lead champion, right?
According to somebody, probably, yeah, sure.
Nice work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about just this comp, first of all. So, semifinals was tight. In fact, where did you finish in qualifiers? You were, I think, seventh?
I think I was fifth in qualifiers and sixth in semis.
So just barely made it into finals. How did was that round representative of your climbing? What was it about semifinals that was a bit of a disappointment?
So I think for me, it was a couple things. One, I put a lot of expectations on this comp for myself, and I found it borderline crippling to try to compete under that pressure, which I've never found before. I usually love competing and love being in this environment, and I found myself waking up in the weeks leading up to this comp kind of dreading it and not wanting to go and not being super psyched. And I don't know where that pressure necessarily came from. I don't think it was an external source. I think I was just hyping it up and putting that on myself just because I don't really know why. So it was really hard to compete in qualifiers and in semifinals with that mentality. Plus, the boulders just weren't my style, and there's some girls from out east and from BC who are really good at slab and really good at standing on volumes, and that's not historically been my forte, but that said, I don't think I necessarily showed my best in those first two rounds either. And this morning in semifinals, with the last couple of climbers trickling in after me, who are all really strong, Alyssa Weber, Leokowski, I was pretty sure I was going to be out. Yeah. So not even in finals, in seventh or in eighth place or whatever it was going to end up to be. So for me, this final round was kind of an unexpected surprise because I had sort of accepted the fact that it wasn't going to be my comp and I was going to be in seventh. And I was able to compete in this round with sort of a liberated mentality of can't do any worse than sixth, coming out first, no expectations. Moving forward, I think it's going to be really important for me to figure out a way to channel that mindset in every round that I do, not just when the circumstance presents itself.
I'm curious because for myself, I think of yourself and Alyssa Weber and Alana Yip as kind of the three A's, three consistent people often in bouldering national finals. Alana Yip has become the preeminent boulderer in Canada because of her World Cup time, even though you beat her 2 years ago. And then last year, who knows, but unfortunately you got injured in the finals of last year's nationals. Do you feel like that affects the pressure when you see these other big names either drop out or just not show up? Like, is that something you feel like you can recognize, or is the pressure from somewhere else?
I think that's part of it. I think Alana not being here definitely ups the ante. Partially just because I was the last one to win before she did last year. I think there was also pressure that I put on myself because I got injured last year and decided to pull out of finals after the first boulder. So there may be a little bit of PTSD from that, I don't know. I've always been really hard on myself. And I haven't, just because of the way the schedules worked out, I was competing internationally until mid-October at the World Beach Games in Doha. So I hadn't done a 5-on, 5-off round since October, and I hadn't competed in Canada since Bouldering Nationals last year. So it had been an entire year, and I've never done that before. I've never spent a whole year competing internationally and only showing up to nationals and trying to sort of channel that same energy that you do internationally. And honestly, props to Alana for doing it. She's done it for a lot of years now. She's been able to compete internationally and then show up to local comps and throw down the same way. But it was an interesting experience, and I for sure did not do well under that pressure for the first few rounds. So I guess it was sort of a blessing in disguise to come in sixth in semifinals, because it was a way for me to take that pressure off.
This World Cup season, I imagine you're interested in still doing some of the season. Yeah. When you look at the season, because of the Olympics and the change in who may be there, who might not be going to these events, do you think that it's going to be a different season for athletes that do attend?
I don't know. At the end of the day, there's only 40 athletes, 20 men and 20 women, going to the Olympics, which leaves a huge amount of the field who's still only doing bouldering or doing bouldering and lead or doing whatever and picking and choosing and doing whatever fits best in their schedule. So I think, and especially because of the 2 per country cap, there'll still be a really strong team from most of those big nations. And I don't quote me on this, but I do know from talking to some of the Olympians that their intention is to still compete at some of the World Cups. Maybe not all of them. Like I don't know if Sean will do all of them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him at a World Cup this season, even though he is an Olympian. I think it's a good way for them to shake out the nerves and see where they sit and make sure their training is going the way it should be.
Last question about your BC teammate, Ghia McNamee, who just won his first nationals at the age of, I guess he turns 18 this year? Yeah. So another young climber. Tell me a bit about Ghia and this win.
So Guy's on the Hive Swarm team, so I actually coach him a bit too. That's my job when I'm home in Vancouver. So I don't know if you can actually see, there was the winner's chair was like right here, and the boulder was way over that way, and as he was climbing, I was slowly just moving towards and I don't think I've screamed that loud in a long time, and he topped the boulder and I cried. So that was a really proud moment for me as well. Last year at Lead Nationals, we both also won, and it was a really special moment, and you take moments like that and you think, wow, man, what if that never happens again? To win with a teammate, to win with an athlete, to be a coach and have an athlete. So it honestly is a super special experience, and after Lead Nationals last year, we really were super excited to be able to experience that together, and to do it a second time just feels like, yeah, I'm so stoked. Our coaching team, Jeff Thompson, Christian Core, is amazing, and the support we get from the Hive is amazing, and so I'm beyond excited for him and so happy that we could do it a second time. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Well, congratulations and good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.